What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Heav in Hollywood. Welcome back to another installment of Industry Stories. You know where I'm from. I already told you. How I was in the business over 21 and a half years, how I got in the business. We went through all that already. But here is the backstory that a lot of you have been asking about, and that is the issues with Nicki Minaj, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Desiree Perez, and Rocnation. Y'all been asking for it. About to give it to y'all, so sit that, straddle up, strap up, whatever you want to call it. Because this is the one. All right? Now, let's just kick it off. Let's go back as far as we can go back. When Nicki Minaj, first got into the game, right? As we all know, she signed with Young Money. She had a few deals on the table. Warner Brothers, which later changed to Atlantic, but at this time, there was Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers wanted to sign Nicki Minaj. She was going to sign with Warner Brothers, but then she got the deal on the table, which was a much more exclusive deal from Young Money, Cash Money. And then she also had spoke to Jay-Z. Now at the time, Jay-Z was still dealing with Def Jam, and he was creating, he had the Rockefeller, symbol, but he was creating Rocnation. So Rocnation was still young. You're talking about '08. Now remember, some of my timelines might be slightly off because remember, I'm trying to do this off strict memory. All right? I don't really have no notes. This is just strict memory experience. Right? So 2008, I believe, Rocnation made it, maybe 2009. And then, but Nicki decided to go with Wayne and Young Money in 2009, I believe. So Rocnation was probably 2008. All right, so she decided to go with Young Money. But ever since then, she had always, had a lot of respect for Jay-Z because she was saying, if I don't sign with Wayne, then I'm going to sign with Jay-Z. Those are the only two people that I can really see myself signing with. Of course, Jay-Z was from New York. At the time, she was also interested in G-Unit, right? But going up towards by the time Nicki had not signed yet, that was around 2009, G-Unit was starting to kind of like fizzle out, right? So, but she would have liked that because 50's from Queens and yada, 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 right? So she signs with Young Money. She always had respect, for Jay-Z. Then, of course, Monster comes out. I believe that was 2010. I think that Monster was released. I believe 2010. All right, so, and then Jay, of course, said, that was a great, Nicki Minaj was amazing on that record. He had not heard something, coming like that from a female since Lauryn Hill. Right, so he was like, yeah, yeah, she got something. Wayne got something. He got something with her. That's a good look. I was gonna sign her, but she decided to go with Wayne, and she made a good choice. So they always had respect for each other. Now, as the years go on, Beyonce and Nicki Minaj start to get a little closer. I'm going to assume that was around 2014, probably. Because I think the first thing that they did together was the Flawless remix, I believe. And that was around 2014, 2015, somewhere in there. I'm going to say 14. So they did the Flawless remix together. Then they went on to do a couple of, other records. And they had started to, hang out a little more, at going to industry functions and stuff like that. Not more so coming over the house for dinner or go hang out. It was just more so like, oh, industry function together, or we'll have a party, an after party at an award show, and we're gonna have a private room, and you can come. I want you to come through and what have you. Now, at first when she first started dating Meek Mill, Jay-Z wasn't really for. Remember, Nicki Minaj trusted Jay-Z enough that she even went under Jay-Z when he opened up Tidal. Now, if I remember correctly, that was around when they first started having Tidal meetings, where around 2014, 2015. I think it officially opened around 2016. But, Nicki Minaj went into Tidal as a shareholder. Once he sold Tidal, I think before taxes, Nicki Minaj came out with about $8.9 million. That's before taxes. I don't know what they did. Most of the artists that came in at that time all ended with pretty much the same thing. And so she ended with about $8.9 million before taxes. All right, everything's all good. Now, her and Meek Mill break up, right? This is during around the time where I believe things started to go a little south. She breaks up with Meek Mill. This is, of course, is not far from the incident with Miley Cyrus, on the award show.
And now, back to this bitch that had a lot to say about me the other day in the press. Miley, what's good?
Hey, we're all in this industry. We all do interviews.
So, Nicki Minaj did the infamous, the famous, Yo Miley was good, right? And that was at the VMAs, I believe. So, it was right after that, once the industry started talking and forming together and saying, listen, we can't support this woman. You got the owner of Disney Records going around hitting people up saying, listen, if you're going to support her, then we're not going to do business with you in any aspect. One of those people that he called was Jay-Z. Jay-Z at this time was at the head of the game of rap and music, him and Beyonce. That's why they call her the queen of music. Nobody, no blogger, anyone gave her that name. Clive Davis gave her that name, right? So she was known as the queen of music. Jay-Z was known, a lot of people, as the king of music. So he was getting phone calls and emails from different record labels and different executives saying, is your wife still cool with Nicki Minaj? Right? Now, Beyonce and Nicki Minaj remained pretty cool, even after the Yo Miley was good. But Jay was trying to find reasons. Jay saw this coming down the pipe, and I remember back then, them saying he had a conversation with Beyonce, and it was like, I'm going to paraphrase, of course, because I wasn't there, but it was a lot on the lines of, she's on her way out. It's time you separate yourself from her. And then the Remy beef happens. And that's really when Jay told Beyonce to separate herself from Nicki Minaj because of that audio that Nicki was going to use as her rebuttal to Remy.
Met this girl named Nicki, I guess you could say she was the rap queen. I met her in the studio lobby, but her booty looked bigger in the magazines. She said, B, will you jump on this song of mine? How could I resist when I heard little Nicki rhyme?
So Nicki Minaj leaked that audio. And this is what she was going to use on her comeback from Remy Ma's Sheetha. She feels as though, since Sheetha, had put a narrative out there and everyone was like, oh, Remy killed Nicki. What's Nicki, you got 48 hours to respond, this, that, and the other. So Nicki Minaj was going to use that audio to help respond back. You come back with a response record and you got Beyonce on it. Now, I don't know whether she was going to use that at the beginning or use that on the hook some way, chopped it up on the hook. Nicki was saying she was a rap queen. You know what I mean? It was like, Rap Queen's Revenge or something like that. It was kind of like, you know what I mean? The Queen's Revenge. I believe it was supposed to be called Queen's Revenge. But Jay-Z heard that and immediately contacted Nicki's people. And, he asked to speak to her. He wanted to speak to people, her people first, just to make sure that this was not their idea. And Jay was like, yeah, listen, I heard a little audio. I heard some rumors, street talks. But, don't involve my wife. Don't involve my wife in any of your nonsense. That ain't happening. So that was supposed to be the initial response. And Jay-Z shut it down. And that's why it took so long for Nicki to respond. And she came back with no frauds. But that was after the plan A had already went out the window.